So when I was studying for the bar exam, at the age of 44, I would read the page and can't remember what's on the page before. So, and it was really an overwhelming amount of work. And what had happened, the one subject I really just couldn't fathom the subject. And I had taken, so what happens when you do the bar is that you have to quit your job and you don't work for a year, you don't earn any income, and you have to keep supporting yourself. And then the next year, and if you fail, it's like you have to start the year all over again. So it would be a financial disaster. So the one subject, I studied, I kind of learned it like a parrot, didn't understand it. And before the bar exam, I was sitting in the car for this one particular subject thinking, I don't know this. I'm trying to cram it into my head. Like, I can't get this. I can't get this. And I get a call from one of the teachers in India saying, Guruji says, stop sitting in the car, get out, go and write the exam. And I'm like, come on, don't joke with me. It's like, I'm trying to study. He says, no. He said, would I be joking that to give you a message from Gurudev? Gurudev said, get out of the car, go and write your exam. And I wrote the exam, and somehow I passed that exam. It was really incredible. I was really for the first time sitting worrying like what's gonna happen, and my mind was projecting into the future. And from all these thousands of kilometers away, Gurudev completely sent that message of reassurance, because I wasn't picking up on his subtle message that he actually had to get somebody to call me, and it was perfectly fine. Passed the bar exam. And here we are. Yeah. There was another incredible story actually about Cape Town that I didn't tell you. If I recall, it was Cape Town had a water shortage through very poor planning. And in about 2017, we started having a severe drought for many years in summer, and our dams were at about 20% capacity. So when I had gone for Navratri the year before, they were already saying that we're going to run out of water by the next year. They were trying all sorts of things, but it was too late. And I had told Gurudev about that. And, he said, okay, there's some person that had come to the ashram and made some offer of some cloud seeding technology. So Gurudev put me in contact with a person. But then I got a message to say that the data wasn't reliable, and you can't approach government with such shaky data, so drop that. Then I had gone traveling, and I had come for Sanyam in February 2018. At that point, we were actually thinking of leaving Cape Town because we have a population of about 5 million, and I think our taps would have run dry by the 1st of April. And they didn't have any capacity for water tankers, etc., in the whole city. And we were really worried that there would be disease, toilets not flushing water, not flushing, etc., no bathing water, no drinking water. So we were thinking maybe we'd go somewhere else. And when I had met with Gurudev, and I had told him, Guruji, what do we do? What can we do in South Africa, in Cape Town, to solve the water crisis? Should we do more Rudra Pujas? Should we do Agnihotra? Should we do big satsangs? And Gurudev had looked at me and at my wife and said, let me think about it and I will see what I can do. And I said, okay. So we both thought Guruji is going to tell us what to do next. And then at some point, we had figured, no, what Guruji had said, he will see what he can do. And then I had seen Guruji and he just, and I said, okay. He said, nothing for us to do, he will take care of it. And I had left the ashram, taught one more course in Africa before coming home. And I had come home and, we were doing Rudram for Shivratri. And on that day of Shivratri, when we'd done the Rudram, it just started raining. And it doesn't rain in February, and it just started raining. And the sky itself had looked as if Rudra was there. I have the pictures which you can see. And it just started raining, and from that day it started raining, and that's when our water crisis ended. And Gurudev had told another teacher as well that had come and said, no need. It came about a month or two. He said, no need. The rain will keep coming. And now at this point, our dams are at least 100% full. It's amazing by just one thought that Gurudev can change nature. It actually reminds me of also that first time that I went to the ashram, and it was a Sunday, and we were sitting outside in the amphitheater, and it was really hot. And I remember I wasn't used to the Indian sun. It was 2004, and I was actually putting one foot on top of the other, changing them because my feet were burning, and it was really hot. And Gurudev had come for satsang, and there was not a cloud in the sky. And Gurudev had looked up at the sky and he said, "Oh, it's very hot for you," like for everybody sitting there. And within 15 minutes, there were clouds that had just blocked that part of the sun, and the whole of the amphitheater was in shade. It is remarkable, just unfathomable when this happens. And I actually have a picture of the clouds around the sun because it was so tangible that Gurudev, by one thought, had created that or asked nature to do it. So,
I was saying, Mukeshji, you have traveled so much for our teaching art of living courses, and Botswana and Zimbabwe and other places also. How has been your experience, and what has been your experience with that blessing and the presence of Gurudev when you're traveling to say?
so the first place that I had gone to was Botswana. And so the first day that we were there, I was speaking on the microphone was gone. So basically, I was shouting across to all these people, and I thought, you can't really do silence course like that. And they told me not to worry, the generator's being fixed, it will happen. So the course happened, and in the middle of the night, the power went. I woke up the next morning, there was no power. And I thought, okay, what to do? We'll see what to do, and don't worry, Gurudev will take care of it. And as you get there, so we come there, I thought, okay, the power will come on surely when I come there. Nothing happened. I thought, okay, keep teaching the course. Guruji will give impetus. So normally they're supposed to do some bastrika and mudra pranayams. And the impulse came, teach them, not teach them, let them run through 3 stages of pranayama, then do bastrika, then do mudras. And we did that, and literally as they finished the last mudra, I thought, okay, electricity is still not on. I'll have to plug the iPod into my ear and speak the hollow and empty to them. But literally, as they did the last mudra, immediately the electricity went on in the middle of this village in Botswana. At the same time, it was very, very hot. So I had picked up some kind of tummy bug. And it became quite excruciating at that point. But while you're teaching the course, you are completely fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong. But I remember when I go to my room, the tummy bug was quite excruciating. I was literally screaming, like I was going, ah. And I thought, nobody can hear you. Your mother can't hear you. Because first, automatic impulse is ma. It's quite funny, I was laughing. And so from ma, I changed, Guruji, help, Guruji, help. And the next thing, the whole room had turned this very, very bright green color in the middle of the night. And it was as if I was looking and there was a green light everywhere. The green light was in front of me. It came in, and the next thing I passed out. And when I woke up, I was completely fine. And after that, we had another course in Botswana. And at that point, it was 42 degrees dry heat. And government had issued a warning that, you can't be outside. So we had moved the course to our dear teacher Savitaji's house. And it was really a remarkable experience that over every nature walk, there would be a cloud in the whole of the Gaborone sky. There would be one single cloud over the house. And it would lightly rain and cool the place down. From Botswana, we had a very interesting experience. We went to Zimbabwe and taught a course. And on the last day of the course, it felt as if there was bright, bright sunshine in the room. And I, I couldn't fathom why all of a sudden there was light, but I thought maybe some curtain was opened. And then when we looked at the pictures, actually, the light was coming through the wall right onto Gurudev's pictures. And you can take a look at the picture that and everybody has confirmed that there is no light or no window where this light is coming from. So the presence of Gurudev actually become quite overwhelming on courses. Um, the one the one experience we had as well teaching in Port Elizabeth, it was really a course of sound karma. The sound kept switching off, and eventually the teacher went to hire a whole completely new sound system without any authorization. Just one of the students had it, but it was also very cold at the time. So what had happened was they had heated the venue overnight, so it wouldn't be too cold for the participants. And all the plugs were in one, and the plug had overloaded. And by the morning, everything had all the plugs had melted into one. It was completely fused, and the sound system was also completely fried. The teacher tried many things, put sound in different plugs, and it just wouldn't work. And she didn't know what to tell the person whose sound system it was. And she had come with my breakfast, and and just this feeling came over me. It's like, not to worry, we'll do Guru Puja, we will fix it. And I remember the look on her face, and it just felt so natural to just say that at that point. And we sat down, we chanted Guru Puja, and we said, don't worry, Guruji will fix it. As we came, next minute, she came with this big smile and said, sound system is completely fine. So I think the power of what Gurudev does is much more tangible when we travel to these new places, and knowing that feeling of that grace is with you, and that you're doing the divine's work, and everything will happen. No obstacle whatsoever can stand in the way.
Mukeshji, 1998 when you did your course for the first time, and 2020 when we are speaking now, what has changed?
Everything, perception, observation. At that point, if I look at that person, I can't recognize the person. That was I was a young, committed person, but I had a lot of anger, completely left brain, didn't believe in anything I couldn't see. And my student put it in such a nice way, saying, at first I didn't believe in miracles, but now we have come to rely on miracles. So that, you know, life is so different, life is so beautiful. Even going through challenges, which we still go through, knowing that, that we go through these challenges with Gurudev here. And I wouldn't want to go through it at any other time. And if I can go through whatever challenges while Gurudev is here, there's no better time to rid yourself of that karma. We are
Wow.
so blessed that not only is he on the planet at the same time as us, but we are, doing his work and in his grace. And I think we don't know how unfathomably lucky we are to live the lives we do. And there's such a rare opportunity to rid ourselves of all this lifetimes of baggage. And, we should be 100% focused in attaining, or at least preparing ourselves and waiting for that to happen. So it's a rare opportunity that happens in centuries. And I really encourage you, whatever Gurudev says, it's such a blessing in our life. And he's such a blessing in our life and for the planet.
Mukeshji, from your experience of being with Gurudev for over 22 years now, there are so many teachers and volunteers who are watching this, who will watch after many years. What learnings you would like to share with them?
It's that the one biggest learning is that we cannot put Gurudev into a box. He's unfathomable. Every concept that I have had in my life, he has broken. One thing for sure, though, is that he's here with us for us. And that, everything that we thought was not possible, he has shown us it's so easy to change. All the fixed ideas are there. And, the one thing is that, just take responsibility for yourself and take responsibility for others. It is the most joyous life possible.
Uh, what is Gurudev for you, Mukeshji?
So a lot of people find Gurudev as a friend, as as a Saka, and I still, till this day, 22 years later, I feel so overwhelmed in the presence of Gurudev. I feel he's such an incarnation, and like as you come around him, your mind goes completely blank. And so for him, I always see him as a father figure. That is the flavor that I have is not as a yes, he's my friend, but I always see him as somebody that is like a more father figure for me. And nothing I do is without thinking what would Gurudev want me to do. That, and his guidance is perfect. And we're so blessed to have that guidance.
If Gurudev is there right now in front of you in his physical form, how would you like to express this love, this gratefulness to us?
Right now, I would run up to him and grab him. Normally, I always like, but I have missed him so much in the lockdown. And although his experience is so tangible when we meditate with him, at least we were having that physical connection once or twice a year. And, just being around, coming to the ashram, being in that presence, every kind of stress and worry that it simply evaporates in his presence. It's like whenever you physically with him and you can't recognize the person that came to meet him the first time. And I just I would tell him how grateful I am for everything he's doing, not just for me, but for this world, and how he has held the world together through this time of COVID. And when everybody was sure it's difficult, but there's always that ray of light and hope. And even Gurudev's through the Atirudra Homa that he did, knowing that this is happening, his foresight, and we don't know how much worse the pandemic could have been without his guidance and the huge efforts that he's putting to bring peace and, and that calmness back on the planet. So, thank you.
Beautiful stories, remembering all. I'm listening to all the stories from you. There was so much learning, Mukeshji, and there is so much of longing that most of us must be feeling, which I am feeling now. And all these miracle stories with Gurudev, how simple he is, how approachable he is, and how divine he is at the same time. This is something which is very, very, very beautiful. And it has listening to you for listening to all these stories from you has been a wonderful. It's a wonderful experience listening to all these stories from
I'm so happy that I can share them. Normally they come with tears, and I'm happy I could speak clearly without them coming too much. It's really something that that like really how Gurudev has said, before we come to the path, we have salty tears, and since I've met him, the tears have increased exponentially, but they have been the sweetest moments of such gratitude and such longing. And he has kindled something so amazing inside of us that we couldn't even fathom that there was this inside of us. And all these misconceptions that we have had about our flaws and our imperfections, he has simply removed them.
you. So, all of you who are watching this, how did you like these stories with Mukeshji? Please write in the comments. Also, If you have not yet subscribed our YouTube channel, youtube.com, Guru Gray Stories, go and watch and subscribe. There are so many Art of Living senior teachers across the world who have shared all their stories. If you want to see all these stories in an app, then you can go and check gurugraystories.com in your mobile. In the Play Store, you can download the app. In the Apple, it will take you to Safari, and then you can see all the Guru stories in an app format. In one place, you'll be able to see all the stories, and there are so much more also on the page. You can go and check it. Thank you, Mukeshji, for your time.
Thank you so much for letting me share this beautiful story.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.